Um, so we're having an election tomorrow, and I want to talk about something that, well, by the time you see this, my election might actually be over. I'm having internet trouble, so I might have trouble uploading this. But right. But this issue, while it is related to the election, isn't really time sensitive. So I want to talk about the growing role that Arab Israelis are taking in Israeli politics. Over the past few years, Israeli Arabs have been taking a much larger role in Israeli politics, which I think is a really good thing. Um, in fact, last year, the Arab Joint List recorded record turnout among Arab voters, and the Arab Joint List became one of the largest blocs in the Israeli Knesset, our parliament. In fact, they were probably a large part of blocking Bibi Netanyahu forming a government coalition the first two times. Now, I'm entirely in favor of Arab Israelis being a part of Israeli politics and society and government and everything. But there was one thing that really concerned me at the time, and that was that Arab Israelis, with very few exceptions, voted exclusively for Arab Israeli parties. Now, not surprising, but a little concerning to me. Well, it's not they're Arab per se voting for Arabs. I'm also a little worried about Haredi only voting for ultra-orthodox parties. Okay, or I don't like parties being based on race or religion. I don't like that. I think that that our political system should operate on issues-based lines. There's issues that are not religion and race. But I digress. This election, though, we are seeing some changes in that. We are seeing that a far greater number of Arab Israelis will be voting for non-Arab parties. Likud, while it is regarded as being, or at least a lot of people call it an anti-Arab party. But they are projected to gain enough Arab Israeli votes to be worth a seat and a half in the Knesset. That's a big deal. That's a lot more than have ever voted for Likud. More than that, I think this is really cool. Bibi Netanyahu is regarded among Arab Israelis as being the politician who's most qualified to be the prime minister. Seriously. There was a poll I read a little while ago. 1/4 of all Arab Israelis think that Bibi Netanyahu is the most qualified to be prime minister, which is more than any other politician, including the leaders of the Arab parties. By a wide margin. I said a quarter said that Bibi was most qualified. I think the one who came closest to falling was I forget his name. Was like 15%. That's a big margin. That's a big deal. And I'm really excited by that because it shows that despite all the I don't want to say propaganda because some of it is true, but despite all of the publicity around Bibi Netanyahu being anti-Arab, a very large number of Arab people are able to look past that and look at Bibi Netanyahu and consider him simply as a politician, as a capable person who has been leading the country for a long time and who does seem to be capable of leading the country for more time. Now, it's not just Arab voters who are spreading out, so to speak. Also, a lot of Haredi voters. Haredi are the ultra-orthodox Jews. Are polled as saying that they will not be voting for the ultra-orthodox parties this time around. They'll be voting for other less extreme parties, other right-wing parties, even a larger number will be voting for left-wing parties. Which, again, this is something I very heartily approve of. I think this is a really positive development. And I'm actually a little optimistic. This is making me think good things about the future. This is altogether, this is a major step forward in Israel, and Israel becoming less factionalized and more united, which obviously is a really good thing. We are a very factionalized country. Sorry, so before I post this video, something I missed when I was first making this video. So Bibi Netanyahu has vowed to appoint the first Arab minister to Likud, only not really. So an Arab Israeli, a man named Nael Zoabi, who seems a pretty cool person, actually, has joined the Likud party, and he has been put on the Likud list. You see, in Israel, when a party runs for the Knesset, they need to write a list of ministers, people they want to appoint to the Knesset. And so if you win 10 seats in the Knesset, the first 10 people on your list get seated in the Knesset. So Mr. Zoabi is 39th on the Likud list. And Likud is projected to win 30 or 31 seats. So it's a publicity stunt. That's all it is. It's a blatant attempt to win Arab votes for Likud. And I actually hope that it works. Because if Noel Zoabi is able to gain Arab votes for Likud, then the next election, he will definitely need to be put higher on the list and actually seated in the Knesset. And that would be pretty cool. So, sorry the interruption, and that's all. Thanks. So, please comment below with anything you have to say about this. I'd really like to know what you think. And like, share, subscribe, all that internet jazz. And if you'd like to hear more about on any particular topic, please let me know. I'd be happy to tell you what I can about it and offer my review. I can't remember the word. Anyway, that's all. Have a good night, and God bless.